It's Gazzers' lambretta journey, part 10, the final one.
So it had been a couple of years back in the UK. Unfortunately, I'd sold all of my two-stroke scooters. I bought a GT 200. Yes, we travelled all over the UK in that. Anywhere from Scarborough, Exmouth, Bridlington, you name it, we went all over the country. Except Scotland, of course, because it's full of Scottish people. My favourite would have been Scarborough. Seeing Bad Manners, Buster Blood Vessel, bless him. I even got myself in the Scooter magazine, don't know where it is, that's gone. And also I met the guy that had the time travelling money scooter back in the early 80s. I met him, shook his hand, and he took some of my money and I bought his lovely little book. So that was my highlight that year. Just revisiting so many haunts from the 1980s was great. And also a new one on my list was Canberra Sands. It was just fun going out on a GTS 200. But I did take lots and lots of photographs of lambrettas everywhere. That gave me a thought for another lambretta. But that was gonna be 2 years away. I did catch up with Jamie Hunt, remember him? The very first episode, and that's where it all started. I remember once, wasn't we, on our way to Snitterton?
Oh yes, Snitterton races.
And someone took a photograph of my camera and you pretended you were actually helping change the tyre.
You're having a punch or not,
Yeah, I've got the photograph.
I believe it. I tell you used to come in then, the Walshy, you're in the Walshy, right?
Right, he was a good club runner.
It's good food, mate.
Yeah, right, it's not bad.
He used to do his old martial arts and boxing and that, didn't he?
Yeah, haven't seen him. But my kids went back to New Zealand, so guess what we did in 2011? Yeah, we buggered off back to New Zealand as well. On my return, my wife promised me, do not get involved in the scooter scene again, because you know what happened last time.
I promise not to get involved in the scooter scene again, dear.
So I made a promise not to get involved in the scooter scene. So off I went back down to the local shop I used to work, which had now moved somewhere else and was a little bit smaller, and I borrowed a scooter off my old mate. It was a pile of poo, but my wife was a little bit nervous because I got another scooter. I still kept the promise. I said I'm not getting involved in the scooter scene, and I didn't. Yay! Then in early 2012, the specials came over here. Yes, to Shed 10. It was like a big warehouse shed thing, and guess who else I caught up with? Yes, John Sharman. It also started on episode 1 with him, if you remember. And I'll get to him again later on. But for now, we enjoyed seeing the specials back together. It was great being in a mosh pit. I know you're talking about lambrettas. I'm now going to get to that. So good evening was had by all, including my wife, who said, I promise you, you're not going to get back into scooter. And I went, okay. A few weeks later though, back in 2012, I heard a lambretta come up my drive. I thought, who's that? I don't know anyone on the road with one, and I've not been involved in the scene. So there I was, someone knocked on my door, and it was this guy, Duncan.
Hello, I'm Duncan.
After I twisted his ear for about 20 hours and told him, well, not getting involved in the scooter scene again after the last time, we parted ways for a little while and then caught up a few times down the pub for a beer. At the same time, my wife going, don't get involved in the scooter scene, don't get involved. I went, I'm not. Then after one of the many visits of Duncan round my house, and by then I built a bar, I built another little bar, he supplied the materials, he said to me, I know where there's a GP 200 lambretta. It is Indian, Punjabi again, which I'm well used to by now in New Zealand. So I went to have a look at it. Oh God, that was this guy from the former scooter club, not getting involved. He was a bit of a wacko. Anyway, a deal was struck. I'm not going to say what the deal was, but I paid preliminary $3,500 for a box of bits again, and it had a twisted front fork. So while I started with some of the pimping and having a look at the engine, Duncan had a look at the front forks and did some grinding and some welding, and she was sweet. And here the scooter is all finished perfect. Look nice. Two pill. Here I am out and about on a I rode her for a few months and I got a call from the idiot that I bought it off, and he welched back on the deal and he took the scooter back. But not after he had to part with a lot of money that I split with Duncan because of all the work he done. Yep, some people never change, and my wife kept pointing her finger saying, don't get involved in the scooter scene. I'm not, I'm just hanging out with Duncan, woman. As luck would have it, you remember my old mate John Charman? And in the last episode we talked about an LI 150, and I got this pink thing off him with no engine, and I wanted this LI. He finally rang me up and he said, Gary, I've got that LI 150, do you want it? It's free, it's yours, it's been sitting there for donkey's years, do something with it. So it arrives, a box of bits, and that was it. Now, let's look at this. Duncan had a go at the engine and I did everything else. And by now, not being involved in the scooter scene, and I'm not, I decided with Duncan, let's have a Duncan and Gary Sunday workshop, because I was spending most of my time round his and he had lambrettas everywhere. It's all ready for the motor.
So in today's Duncan and Gary workshop, what are we doing, Duncan? Yes!
So I did, and I still promised Tracy I'm not involved in the scooter scene. I'm hanging out with a couple of guys and that's it. Not being involved in the scooter scene, off we went for a few rides with some of the others in the scooter scene. But hang on, what happened to the rebuild on the LI before we get ahead of ourselves? Well, this is what it originally looked like. 2 seats, didn't like it, rather gay for me. So then I had to play around with a single seat, that didn't work, and then we ended up, I'd say me, with this single seat. I know it don't look very comfortable, but it's most probably the most comfortable seat I've had. Also, it's worth mentioning that I had a 175, Duncan and all the others were on a slightly faster machine. So I did a little bit of porting. There you go, that's not bad for an old classic 175 Indian barrel from Punjabi land, hey? At this point I had a few scooters, of course. Well, you do, don't you? But I didn't have another lambretta. So I did a deal with a guy down the line, and Duncan did a deal as well, and 2 scooters arrived. One was my old orange scooter from a previous episode, and of course this blue and creamy coloured one. Which I liked straight off until I rode the bloody thing. And then I sold it straight away after the rebuild, because it was a basic 150. I just didn't like it, I didn't get on with it. You know what I mean, guys, you either love or hate something. I hated this, it just looked pretty. So it was sold and I was still out and about. My daily ride was my LI 175 still. At this point I would have to say things had got out of control with all the scooters I kept buying. So I sold most of them. And bear in mind, I had 2 bar stools as well that were cut in half, and they had real engines in them. Yes, real engines in Gazzers bar. So it was getting well out of hand, as Gary does. Everything is all or nothing, so it went from all to nearly nothing. And then the journey continued with the LI. I did buy a few scooters on and off, My favourite, which I still own, is Rusty, which was given to me by a guy called Christian at Retro Scooter in the city. He's no longer with us, bless him, but the scooter is. And I did sell my Li eventually, and it did fund another scooter, and that scooter is the GP185 Marina mustardy yellow colour. I don't need to talk about that scooter too much because it was featured in episode 1, was it not, where my twins were cleaning it before I put it together. Duncan made the engine look nice again. I just didn't enjoy it, so that went as well. Now that leaves me with a problem. I have these lambrettas, I do them up, I get my hands dirty, and then I get bored and sell them. So this now brings in the Rally Master and realistically brings us up to date. Because I gave it to Duncan, I'll pay him every day of the week for this scooter to get it looking right, how we want it, and I will have no hands-on experience in this. I will be one of the great unwashed where I just go pick it up and hopefully ride it before it breaks down. Now, this also leads me to, I bring in another guy, Ricky Childs, because he is going to do all of the graphics on the side panels. I'm not going to mention it too much, but in 2027, I will be doing my lambretta journey on the South Island. But I'll let Gary tell you that from Gazzers Bar, the ever-changing bar. Come in, Gary. Why, thank you, Gary, in the edit room. Yes, it's a revamped bar. I'm playing at the moment a video from Scarborough 1980. Do have a look at that one, it's actually quite good. Some memories of me in the Drifters Scooter Club. So, the idea next year, it'd be Bert Monroe. Bert Monroe was most probably the most iconic Kiwi guy on an Indian, not an Indian lambretta, an Indian American style. I nearly said scooter, didn't I? Hey, I've had a beer. This is the first beer in 3 months. I know. And basically we're going to go down there early next February, where we are promoting prostate awareness. You know, when you want a wee, then you have another wee and another. You've got to get it looked at. Now, don't be too scared about it, because they only ever do the fingers once, and normally with me it was a pretty young lady. So anyway, I'm catching up with John Sharman, who's featured heavily all the way through. I tried to get him to do me a little video, and he said he's too shy, and you'll see lots of videos of me and him jibber jabbering over the years since 1980 up until a few years ago. So we're going to be doing that next year. Another guy might be coming along on his lambretta as well. So it'd be quite nice to finish the lambretta journey into Gazzers lambretta journey around New Zealand with my old mate John Sharman. How weird is that? This world is small. Now, moving on, I'm going to go through a few memories, but first, that one, that came from Lowestoft Electrical. That was on the wall. I remember the girl, she said, oh look, I made this little poster up and it sat on the wall, and after cardiac arrest had finished, I said, you know, got out the charts, can I have it? You can see where she drew and outlined it all, and I've still got that. And then, which I haven't featured before, Madness, Take It or Leave It, the magazine, is still in pristine condition. I do not know how, because I don't generally look after anything. And what came with that was the poster, which I might have mentioned before, the Take It or Leave It poster. And then down in the far corner there, not looked after very well, is me when I was 18 with that very poster that's here. How cool is that? And it's still on the wall around the corner. And in this video that's now playing, it is featured as well. I'll get to why in a minute. Limited edition Madness again. Lots of different bits and pieces of the guys. Then there was this one. You remember they used to just be on the not Wickles, who would it have been? W.H. Smith's, Oh, I used to fancy the rocks off her. Then she got involved with Andrew Ridgely. But look, this is the original poster. I had it on the wall for a while. It's all complete. My question is, with all of this stuff,
What do you do with it? What do you do with all this stuff? Because if I don't do something with this will go back in the cupboard, and then when I'm passed on in 20, 30 or 40 years time, however long they allow us to live with pills, she'll just chuck them out anyway, hey? Then I got hold of this. This was good because I saw Blitz and I got that. I got the album. That was brilliant. Went to see them at the Gaumont in Ipswich. Brilliant. Now, got some notes here. So when I went back in 2008, I got that GT. It was covered in very horrible 1960s artwork. It was originally silver. Luckily, it actually had the PM tune pipe already on it, so I didn't have to pay for that. But Tracy and I travelled around the whole of the country with that, including this bag, which I haven't got out to show you guys originally, but I got it out because I'm going away next weekend with a few mates, and this is a brilliant bag. It's totally waterproof, and then it just scrunches up. You can throw that in the water and she'll still be cool and dry. The stuff you keep, eh? The stuff you keep. So let's get on to going around the country. First of all, East Coast Drifters. I went to East Coast Drifters Scooter Club, met some really nice guys and girls. But then I went to the Misdemeanors in Lowestoft as well, and never the twain shall meet. Then I had some old mates like Richard Tyrrell who were hanging out in the Wasps. This is in the noughties, by the way, so this is 20 years ago nearly. And I'm like, why all of this going on? It's changed a little bit now, but hanging out with the Foxborough. Then I've got my notes here. I went on the Pet Shop Ride charity run, met lots of people from Great Yarmouth, and reacquainted myself with some of the Sidewinders. I remember going on my GT, which was frowned upon back then, when I sprayed it all satin black and I'd done all the red and I polished all the wheels and stuff. It was still frowned on going anywhere on a GT. Now look at me. And I sprayed that satin black before they brought out the GT, or was it the GTS satin black one anyway. But I remember a really good memory. I've got no photographs of it. There was this, and I'll get to it in a minute, because I saw this Rizzler. It's a lambretta, but it's called Rizzler, and all the murals on it. I loved it because I used to make smoke roll-ups. Again, nostalgia, isn't it? But it had an auto engine in it, and this was very similar. And this guy standing there was ticking over, and this idiot came over. This is a Sidewinders meeting. There was about 60 odd people outside this pub, and this guy went, "Cool scooter," and he went to rev it up. An auto, and it just went rim, and then it just scraped down the side. And I'm like, anyway, that was a memory of that. As I said, the Pet Shop run was charity, and I think that was Sausage Speeds, who I got to meet, because what I didn't mention, I actually got a phone call from Canary Carl Barber. He had a lambretta, and I helped him strip it and then do it all back up. And he's a big Norwich City fan, so you can see the Norwich City colours right there. It's a lovely metal flake. Anyway, I got to meet Sausage Speed basically because I could not get that front disc working properly. So he rang him up, he knew him quite well, whereas I didn't. And basically we went over to Yarmouth, and he was, bless him, he's no longer with us. He definitely was old school lambretta guy. There weren't nothing he didn't know when you asked a question. And his workshop was all old school. None of this modern stuff, ramps and stuff. It was all old school, everything. Even his house was just totally covered in scooter stuff. Bless him. Barton Smack revisited that with a few of the lads. One night, I remember that, midweek, Great Yarmouth, Barton Smack, and I think closed down at some point. That was the place to go, wasn't it, in Great Yarmouth? And I met up with a couple of old Sidewinders, Wasps guys I hadn't seen for a long while. I'm having to go through it because I don't want to miss nothing out. Then on the GT, I got a call from Gavin and Tanya, I'd done their wedding photographs, but they said, hey, we're going down to the Ace Cafe in London for breakfast. And I'm like, what? I had the GT 200, and you want to come along? And I thought, yeah, okay. We're meeting up with the Norwich Broadsman. I'm like, Norwich Broadsman, all these bloody mods and stuff, but that was back in the early 1980s. But we went along, met up with them Norwich, so we had to go across to Norwich 27 mile and then go down the centre right down to the Ace Cafe, which is the mecca of all cafes, as you would know. And we had breakfast down there. There was a lot of scooters there, and there was about 70 of us on our autos, which was really a good ride. And that was the first and most probably the only time I've been on an auto, and that's why it stuck with me. Autos, when you've got 70 odd of you, I was on a 200, most of them by then were on the 250s. There was Glenn White on his 250, and I remember he had this cool auto inside, you know, the old Intel inside, and that was auto inside. And I met so many cool people, and they were like me back from the 80s, riding their scooters, now riding their GTs and GTSs, which were around by then. And as I said, they still all had the old classics like we did. Brilliant day out. Well, I'd say brilliant day. We went out in the morning. I was home by 1 o'clock, and I said, Trace, did we just really go down to London for breakfast? Something I wouldn't have done on an old Lambretta or a PX. That would have been literally a day there and back, something like that. So I got that, and I got down here. It was a 250 mile round trip just for breakfast. So pretty cool. I have to say, all the rallies I went to back then were literally north-south divide. North, they were always so friendly with us. Tracy and I went once on a Friday to Briglington, and we couldn't leave because she didn't come to work till 5 in the evening. That's going to be a good 6-7 hours, is it not? Maybe 8-hour trip. And I rang the guy up. Gazzers, they come, bless him. And I said, we're going to be a bit late. And we arrived at 1 in the morning, absolutely exhausted. And he kept the bed and breakfast open, very nice. And he helped with the bag, this bag actually, the red bag. And he said, I shouldn't have the bar open. Still all this regulation and laws that got worse, as you know, through the years, through licensing. And he said, sure, I'll open the bar. Open the bar, and we sat and had a couple of beers with him. Really nice. But then the southern end, when we go to different rallies, like I went to Exmouth, which is probably the furthest down south I ever went, that was a different one again. And there we were as these skinheads. And there's like 8 skinheads at the bottom of the stage. I've got a blurred picture of the stage where the band came on, but before that, no one was dancing, literally. And I said to Tracy, my wife, I went, you know why they're not dancing? Because all these skinheads were standing, all my age, in their 40s like this. They're just standing there like that, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I saw one guy in the corner who seemed to be the head guy, what was going on. And I said, what's all this standing here like this outside the stage and everything? He went, that's health and safety, Gary, health and safety. Do you know, I laughed, and I said to him, and I whispered to him, and I said, do you know, back in the 80s, if someone had said to you, the same guy that was a skinhead, that you're worried about health and safety, they would have laughed at you. And they're the only reason that no one's dancing is because you're looking too intimidating and you're worried about health. He said, what is the band? The band's coming on. I went, there's no band. And anyway, who gives a rat's ass about health and safety? And it was a VFM, whatever, value for money rally, which was a little nonsense. They weren't value for money. Anyway, so I came back, and the time I came up top, Tracy went, what are you, oh, I'm talking to him, what do you say? I said, I just told them, it's just ridiculous all this health. And anyway, I saw him talking to the other 4 or 5, 6, and then they all walked off. And then when they all walked off, everyone filled into the dance floor and started dancing. See, even getting bogged down. So that's another memory. They're all right, but I've always found when you go down south, they're a little bit offish. The only ones when we went to Camber Sands, I've got to mention Camber Sands. So when Tracy and I went to Camber Sands, it was quite funny because it was like going back into the 1970s with all literally all the chalets, right? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We met up with the maiden skinheads, our age, back from the day, and here's a couple of photographs. And when we went to bed that night, it was so hot and sticky. Tracy and I just laid on the bed naked. Hey, watch it, watch it. We were pretty well plastered, but it was so hot. And when I woke up in the morning, Tracy said, I didn't realise you brought half a pint of beer home with you. And I went, well, I didn't. I drank it then and I didn't bring nothing home because I was one for collecting glasses. And I went, I did not bring anything back with me. She went, there's half a pint sitting on the kitchen. Now, the kitchenette was part of the bedroom. And I still remember seeing it. I didn't take food. I still remember going. And Tracy went, someone would have come into our bedroom, kitchenette, diner and everything all in one, and put their pint down and gone, oh, I'm in the wrong place, and walked out. Do you imagine now with social media, we'd have been all over the show. And I found out later that Canberra Sands only had about 8 different chalet keys. So they had a block of 8, then it was a block of 8, so you never got too confused. So someone must have gone, oh, this one, and it worked, and then came in and realised it was the wrong one. Very funny, but really good. I really enjoyed that weekend. Then we were supposed to go back to Bridlington like next year, but we've done Scarborough, revisited Scarborough. Brilliant. I've already mentioned in the video, did I not, about meeting the guy from Time, Travel and Money. That was quite a good, interesting conversation with him. But there, I noticed there was an awful lot of GTSs everywhere, all customised. And there's one in particular, I don't know if I still got, I don't think I've got the photograph. It was the clown, not the clown, it was a Joker from the Batman film with Heath Ledger. Anyway, when I was there, I was just like go back home in a sense. This is us going there on that video right now, and that's the whole journey. And it's like I ticked the box, and I didn't particularly care to go back again. So the next year we said we'd go there, and we're all booked in. And I said the night before, I just don't fancy it. And she went, no, I don't. I went, let's do the next stop and go to Newcastle. So we went to Newcastle and we caught up with some old friends that lived with us when we were in Whenuapai in New Zealand. They literally live at the end of our road, and they're from Newcastle. So we went up there, we just bypassed, and on the way back the next day, it just poured with rain all day. Now I still, up until this year, wore them same gloves and that same jacket and the same pants, or trousers as they're called in. And coming home, it just poured the rain all day. I didn't even get wet. And when we got back to our house in Lowestoft, I said to Tracy, I just felt like keep going. And she said, yeah, I did the same. So we really had the bug for rallies. And as I said, we went, I've got to do, what else? After the Canberra Sands. So we did, what was the other one? There was so many, but the minor ones I liked more. There was the first one of the Minorities Scooter Club, not Minority Scooter Club, Minority Scooter Rally. Got the patches and everything from that still now. We did the Ronnie Biggs and a few others like that. And I met up with some cool mates from the past that I recognise and they recognise me. Moving on, when we moved back here, again the scene was different, and I highlight in the video, do I not, my wife, excuse me while I get another beer, my throat is going a little bit, and as I say, here's what I prepared earlier. Yeah, second beer since New Year's, and it's now the end of March. I forgot where I was now. Yeah, so coming back here, I promised my wife, because we had so much trouble through the scooter scene here, all the backbiting you do, you know, and she said don't get involved. So I said no, I won't get involved. And that's when the next set of videos started. And the first one, I will have to say, an old German friend of mine, who again no longer speaks to me. I seem to be a pattern here, right? Anyway, quickie. Yeah, lovely jubblies. He imported 4 of these 4-stroke LMLs. They actually look pretty cool, and they were cool to ride because you only needed 1st and 4th gear, but oh god, they looked ugly when you took the side panel off. Well, you didn't, it lifted up. So we did the 4-stroke test day with Gertz, and of course I already knew Duncan by then because you saw in the video he'd already come around my house. And I met a few other new people as well, Russell and a couple of others who are still hanging out with us at Duncan and Gary Sunday Workshop. And that was a nice little ride out and back. But then I did, and I'm going to just play the intro. Maunders, Maunderers, just play the beginning. Yeah, that's enough of that. That gave me the idea, because by then I was already doing, here we are on Duncan and Gary Sunday Workshop. We're just using a phone and just having a little bit of a play on a Sunday morning around Duncan's, because I literally lived 7 minutes on my scooter from his. So this led to what I do today, all these type docu type videos, because that was the first real one I actually edited together without going, you know, with a camera and just doing that like people do today, don't they? So that was a really, really good one. I didn't get involved with the Magnetos, and I did see, bear in mind I started the bloody club. When I left there was 160 members. This is not gluten now, but there was 160 members, and it was quite healthy, even though I weren't involved with it anymore because of all the autos and the girls and stuff on their autos that were Yamahas and Suzukis didn't get it. And I was down Browns Bay and going to the pub with my wife, and I saw Speedy Steve, who's been featured a couple of episodes before, and he was on his Lambretta, and he was with, like, there was 2 motorbikes, there was Old Mod and a couple of other people. I went, and he went, Gary, this is what's left of the scooter club. Jeez. Not a bad thing, but it was, I got it here, bumped into Speedy Steve down Browns Bay, and Old Mod. Old Mod again, lived up the road, died 2 years ago. So it really brings us up to date in a sense that Duncan and Gary Sunday Workshop, and I tried not to get too involved with people, but I'd say about 8 years ago when we were working, me and Duncan doing stuff and doing the odd funny video, people would turn up to Duncan's, bless him, and I remember once we had about 10 people turn up, and I just go, here we are Duncan, and then I just go round and introduce people. But then again it dwindled out, and we did have the Trouble and Strife ride. That was quite cool. And then we have intermittent rides, and I got to a point people started making excuses not to come. So the last one but last, Duncan and I said, let's call it the excuses ride. So there was me, Duncan and Gary Ward, and that was it. No one else turned up. So I said, next year I'm going to be in the UK for 3 weeks in the summer. I'm going to put on a ride then, an events ride, and we won't turn up either. And we did put the ride on. We called it the second excuses ride, and no one turned up, and it was a ride. So we just got fed up with everyone going, oh, I can't be bothered. Now it's looking a little bit healthier again. More and more people turning up, some new people, fresh people coming into the scene with their scooters, and yeah, mainly 2-strokes, and they're getting involved, and that's why we're going away next weekend. As I said, I'm always a bit nervous going where there's going to be a bunch of guys hanging out. I do like the girls coming along as well if we can get them, you know, but hey ho. I'll have a little. So this is while you're having a look, from the Magnetos. This is my old mate Mark Hartman, very, very good friend of mine, and yeah, she went over happy that I filmed. But what I've gone and done, like I do here, I do one shoot, I do it in one shot only, no editing, bringing down if I can. When I do my Gazzers bar videos, it's the same. This was one shot. I was at the back field looking for him, and that's when we had the Magnetos, when we used to be at the Kumu Hot Rod Show. So this was sort of featured around that. And what I learned was, when you just turn up, which I do with Duncan's Sunday workshop now, is if I turn up with a camera already rolling, we don't sit there, we don't have a catch up, we don't have a beer or coffee and go, what we done, what we've been up to or nothing. And then I go, let's get the camera rolling. It has lost its energy. So now, like, if you look at Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop, and there's been many lambrettas over the years featured in there, I walk straight in and we just get straight on with it. And the energy, the life is higher. And that was the catalyst for all of that, because I hadn't seen him in a year. He'd been round here. And then a year later, I see him here with his little caravan, and that's his dad's little mobility scooter that he used to own over there. There's his dad popping up now. I've got a photograph nearly for everything, of course. And I found there's more energy. So that would bring us up to date. The Duncan and Gary's workshop, there's no point mentioning an awful lot about it because it's ongoing. And we do have a look down here, we do have Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop. These are the new updated graphics from all them years ago. We had a simpler version from the first house I stayed in when I moved back here. I did do a little spin with him wearing a parka. He only ever wore that parka once, and that was Maunders, and he didn't get there because his scooter broke down. But we did have a nice barbecue around his house. So that would bring us up to date. If you want to know any more about what we do in New Zealand, it is all Brits Down Under. We should have called ourselves Brits Down Under or something. There's, on Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop, at least 250 videos that we've done over the years, going back 14 I think years now. And in that video that you've just watched leading up to this one, that was some of the real earlier stuff. Duncan grinding in his shorts, no safety goggles of course, because we didn't need safety stuff then. So Duncan, what are we doing on Duncan and Gary's Saturday, not Sunday workshop, because it's Saturday morning, it's only 8:30 in the morning. We can't even have a beer.
Right, guys, I've decided I'm gonna turn into a mod.
No,
Get out.
I'm not-
On your way.
Get out.
On your way. Get out. Out.
Shame. Shame.
Guys,
Shame.
I've got a lambretta.
Shame.
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 Go on, get out.
Shame.
Go on, get out. Go on,
Get
get
the
out.
LML.
Go on, you.
Get out. Shame.
I'm not having this.
Go on. Get it.
Look at that. Yeah, that'll sort him out. Get out. Go.
Right.
That's the way.
Let's go have a beer, lads, eh?
Barbecue
Come on,
time.
man.
See ya.
I'm going to be.
And I think we should start with Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop and the Rally Master from a couple of weeks ago. Come in at Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop, and I'm now going to let Duncan introduce the workshop. Hope you've enjoyed the journey. I have. Ta-da. Sire,
Welcome to Duncan and Gary's Sunday Workshop. On a Saturday.
and a Saturday. So what's new on Duncan and Gary's Sunday? Apart, good to see you, Stu.
How you
Good to
going,
see you, mate. It's been a long time.
I'm
What are we doing?
I've had my screwy bits because my Python clutch was never really happy with, and I've
Right.
just finally fucking worked out what it is after many pissing
Undo
around.
me, Stewie. He's going to
Alright.
undress me.
Holy coil.
Come on, carry on, carry on.
Alright, so you see the seal end plate?
Yeah.
There's little S.
Yes.
Alright, on my one, it's actually
In that
raised.
Civetta.
Yeah.
It is, no, it's Spanish, isn't
Spanish,
it?
yeah.
I just
So
put
it's
that
at-
uninformed.
Just informed, just tell you, it's slightly raised.
Right.
When I took my crown wheel back off, I see these fucking square marks on the back. So since then, I've ground that off. But also, the blade shaft bearing retainer that comes
Right.
through, the rivets on the back of the Python clutch, were rubbing on here ever so slightly. Now, I can lift the crown wheel up, but then I've got to piss around at the front with the front sprocket, everything lifting all that up.
Carry on, I'm listening.
What I've actually done, I've sanded a little bit off this. It's only, you know, 1/4 of a millimetre, but it's enough. It's enough. Anyway, that's
So-
for educational purposes.
For educational purposes. And now do a recap on last weekend. How'd you get on?
Guards in, forks in.
No! How'd you get on last weekend?
I didn't break down.
See, then-
Hey, I got there and back.
Now we're on the play. Did you go
What?
as well, Stu?
Yeah.
Right, so just
But-
recap.
But I did snap my fucking exhaust manifold.
Again?
Like, no, yeah. The France Speed race vibrates like fuck.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. They say bolt it up so there's no tension or anything. I've done it 100 times. It still vibrates.
Okay.
Because here's my old one. Here's another one.
Here's one you prepared earlier.
Here's the original one that
Yeah.
I'd had welded 2 or 3 times. It just keeps snapping. So I made my own.
Is it
But
the
fucking
welder?
snapped.
Is it the
No,
welder?
this was done by a proper welder.
Oh, was it?
But
A
look
proper
look
welder.
where it snapped. It didn't snap on the fucking wheel.
So vibration.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
But you do like a good bit of vibrating.
Yes,
I've
but
just been told.
I tell you what, I got off it like fucking John Wayne. I was like that. Say no
I am
more.
not here to judge what you got up to with 10 other lads for the weekend.
Yeah. What do you think?
So, right, hang on, what are we up to now?
Well, I want to counterstand is these forks, which I've never come across before, but obviously. That's not groove.
No groove, you said about no groove in there.
Like the GP ones have, obviously,
Yeah.
but
To me, they look like series one packs.
it's got API stamped on the top of the thing here. Right. Could be anything that just put in it.
Excuse me. We,
And you look at the.
so, let's just bring it up to date. So I haven't seen this. We've
No,
now
you
got,
haven't, no.
we've
You
now
like
done
fancy
what we
feel,
now
okay?
sprayed. Yeah, that's all right. It's sprayed. So it's all sprayed, all right. I haven't seen
No, they're
the leg
red
shields.
front and back. No
Yeah.
filling, they're just painted.
No, we said we weren't going to do no filling. We're just going to leave them. That's going to, if it's rough, it's rough. If it's not, it's not. And I got these, didn't I? I was going to get some off SIP. And then Dave had some that he wasn't going to use anymore. So look at that. They fit all right.
Don't know.
It's gonna-
Nick studs.
Didn't he bring you the studs, Ray? He said he's got the studs for them.
Did he? Oh, he might have done then.
Because he said he was getting some new, some different ones, and
I really can't remember.
Well, there's no bloody point without the
And nuts.
Yeah, and the nuts. So, what else? Must be something else.
Well, I've actually been getting over my carpal tunnel. Not
Your
really
carpal
used
tunnel. So yeah, we had the carpal tunnel, didn't you? Is it better? Show scar, show scar.
Can't really see it.
This is the pathway that creates a problem.
So this is the carpal tunnel of Duncan's very hand before he operated.
Scar hand.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Is that
Then.
like that?
We've got. I just need. Stu, can you just come over here a minute, please? I've got a gripe. Stand next to that guy. Right.
In about the stomach. Oh.
There's something seriously wrong with you, Brits. Honestly, I mean, what the fuck is going on?
It's not winter yet, mate.
Oh, I've got a prezi for you. You've got to follow me. I said no more t-shirts, I promise.
Well, they bigger ones.
Because I only get 3XL and they're too small.
Hey, I've got a present coming for you.
So you know, oh, have you?
Well,
So-
not from me.
So you know, we did. You like my t-shirt? It's from Paul Weller collection, but I dare say you don't get any. Oh, I left my lights on. So you know, we did the photo shoot. We did the photo shoot a few months ago. I thought that was worthy.
Oh, fucking hell. Shit,
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm not showing anybody that.
Why?
That's cool. Dave ought to take the piss out of me.
Why? That.
That's
The reason,
cool.
so that's old school photography from the video shoot we did the other week. You only did a Majobo thingy and liked it. It took me 5 hours to do that bloody video and that.
Oh,
So let's
yeah,
just
keep it
refresh
right.
on that.
Thanks,
So we
Mark.
did that over there,
Yeah.
but that's old school photography. Now, why I like that one, there was a full size one and there's other ones just looking. To me, mate, that is you. That is you to a T. I know. Anyway, let's move on and move away from that. Anyway, that's why
That's cool.
I done that, and there's a bit of cum in the corner, but you'll have to just scrape that off at a later date, mate.
That'll get used to maybe.
So that's it in Duncan and Gary Sunny Workshop. It was good to see Stu. Cracking here, scooting bits,
Stewie.
photo.
Oh yeah, cool. That's
Look, it looks good, doesn't it?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got to finish on that, honey. That's just the epitome of
Before you-
everything
before
that's
you
not
end-
scootering.
Before you end, a friend of ours from overseas has asked for our t-shirt size. Who might that be?
Our t-shirt size, who? Not... Who? Not Richard.
Yes.
Good, I like Richard. That's cool, Richard.
But we won't put it up till they turn up.
Yeah, well, we'll do the to me, to you, to me, twins bit.
No, he wants to
Anyway.
do a video, live video with us.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never done one live. Well,
No,
we've done a Facebook.
not over there.
We've done it, oh, right, we do like, well, we can actually hook up together and do one, eh? Right. So I'm now going to go on one of these. I'm going to have one with Duncan. Look at that. Apparently it's good. You're the one that said it's
It's
good.
nice. I like it.
The widgets.
Not the zero.
No, look,
Zero
it's
Guinness.
zero.
You can't-
I know Guinness with no alcohol is like Scooter and wearing jangles.
Hey, what does he say? You can go off, people.
You can. Big time. Anyway, that's it on Duncan and Gary Sunny Workshop. We're now going to have a beer. Good to see you all. See you on the next one, whenever that may be. We don't know.
Yorkshire.
Bloody Yorkshire.
Right, price a call then, eh? Think it'll be a good year for dailies? What about women today then, eh? Fancy a pint of John Smith?
Oh, thanks, Duncan.
That's very kind. How's the wife? Oh, she's fine, thank you.
John Smith's Yorkshire Bitter brings back the art of conversation.
Hey, by gum, lad.
Right, price a call then, eh?